Hey guys, it's Dak here from the Mad Mix. My first interview is a friend of mine that I've actually known in this industry for a few years, and he's really been making a name for himself. So whether that's taking a independent sports marketing company and taking it to the next level, or creating his own content business. So I want to introduce you guys to Stefan. Hey man.
Good to see you.
How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Tell the people who you are, what you do.
Absolutely. So my name is Stefan Collenberg, fifth-year marketing student, currently at Ryerson University. Worked for startups for about 2.5 years, focused in the sports tech space. Recently, I've shifted in, starting up my own content marketing business where I help young startups to tell their stories online through the use of content.
Awesome. Okay. And what really got you into sports marketing, I guess? Were you an athlete to begin? Or?
Yeah. Oh man, I've been an athlete my whole life. Football, rugby, hockey, always now running, working out. It's just been a constant thing in my life.
Yeah.
And so really my love for sports and then my really passionate interest in marketing and business in general is what drove me towards the industry of sports as a whole. I was like, well, if I love sports so much, why not work in it? Months ago now, I decided that I wanted to head back to school. I hadn't finished my degree yet, and I was like, okay, I just need to get this over with, done. And then along the way, when I actually announced on LinkedIn that I was transitioning from Breezy to sports, or sorry, not sports, to school. When I announced that, I had a couple people reach out, and they're like, hey, like I saw your content at Breezy, I thought you did a good job, I'd like to hire you to do ours. And so this was basically friends I'd met along the way, was connected on LinkedIn, and they saw what I was doing, and they're like, hey, we need content. Like, there was one person on the team, they knew what they were doing, they had a marketing strategy, but they didn't have the time to create the content themselves, and so they're like, hey, I'd be interested in hiring you to do this. And so I figured, hey, 2 or 3 people from startups have all asked me within 2 weeks if I can work with them. There's probably more people with this problem. And so I did some more asking around, was like, okay, so like 5-6 people now have told me like this is an issue for them. They either don't know what they're doing with content marketing, or they know what they're doing and they don't have the time.
That's awesome. Backpack content marketing.
Backpack content marketing. I love it. It's actually funny. So like when you look at the like where the name came from, is I have so this is my backpack.
Backpack.
So I actually was trying to think up a name, and I was like, I really like my backpack. I really like taking pictures with my backpack because it's like it contrasts well. Like if you look like white, like a lot of the surrounding area in Toronto, it contrasts very well. You don't see the magenta. And so I started taking pictures of it. I was like, this is really cool. And then I was like, well, I could tell a story using a backpack. So I figured like as I go, if I do interviews or I tell stories, because that's what content marketing is. You have to tell a story, get the person engaged. And so I was like, I could build my branding around the story of a backpack. So it's like everything I need for my business is in a backpack.
You guys hearing this?
Fire. And I figured like eventually down the road I'd like to travel. And so like backpacking around the world while doing my business.
That's what I thought initially.
And then also like the third thing comes in, so I want to work with young startups. And when you think about it, like who's wearing a briefcase, who's got a briefcase, who's wearing a backpack, it's a startup. And so like kind of it spurred off of this, and then just like mind mapped and kind of it did its thing. So
and you're the sole person in the company right now.
So right now we'll see, like kind of right now it's basically freelance consulting. But what I wanted to do was build a brand around it, experiment with that, and just have the opportunity, like instead of just saying like freelancer Stefan Collenberg, it's like, well, now I can put founder Backpack Content Marketing and build up that brand as a separate entity from me. And if I want to grow it down the road, then I hire more people if we have more work. If I don't, I just keep it on the side and I go work with an agency, work with a team, something like that. So we'll see where it goes. But I figured it's a fun experiment, very low risk. Like if it doesn't pan out, I spent a couple $100 on a website. Like, oh well.
Look for it.
And it's better than any part-time job that I can get. It's relevant to my career. It's stuff I'm interested in, and I get paid more. So it works out.
That's awesome. Win-win-win, right?
Yeah, exactly.
One thing I want to ask you about, because you did mention you're still in school. How do you find that balance? I know a lot of our audience, they do things on the side while they're in school or while they work. Same with myself and Malik.
Absolutely.
How do you find that balance to still approach backpack with quality?
It's not easy. Like I have to say, like I wouldn't say I'm the normal 22-year-old. Like I don't go out every single weekend. Like most of the time I'm staying in. It's just about like where your priorities are, and that's where I think the core of this is priorities. It's like what do you want to do with your life? What are your goals?
Yeah.
And how do you want to get to those goals? If it's like, if you just want to have fun, like enjoy it, and you enjoy going out, then do that. That's your priority. That's your thing.
Yeah.
But for me, like that's not really my priority. I don't really. This doesn't excite me very much, and so I love doing what I do. I love marketing. I love creative problem solving, and that's at its core. That's what I feel like it is. And so for me, more tangible things, like every day I have a to-do list. So I've got my journal in here.
In your backpack.
In my backpack, yeah. And every day I'll review it. So it's like, okay, this is what I have like due dates this week.
Yeah.
Is it projects? Is it client work? Is it an exam? And so I know, okay, this is what I have to do this week.
Yeah.
And then I kind of plan it out. It's like, all right, if I want to get this done here, I need to finish this here. And so I come up with my list.
Yeah.
And I think that's one really important thing. It's
setting
like,
time aside.
if you have your own business on the side, it's like, if you were working for someone, you would have set times where you go to work. Like if you have your own business, you need to create those set times.
That is a good one.
Otherwise, it's like, well, I could watch Netflix, I could go like hang out with my friends, go drink.
So Stefan, one of the things I want to talk about, I've sort of noticed that you are a bit of a LinkedIn influencer, if I can put it that way. I feel like every time that I log into the platform, I see a post from Stefan. There's tons of shares, there's tons of engagement. What is your approach to LinkedIn? Like,
absolutely. So that's the goal. Like right now, what I'm using LinkedIn for is kind of building out my personal brand and building out my own marketing channel. Okay. So if I've been following on LinkedIn past 3 months, I guess, a couple people, and I've just noticed the amount of engagement and reach that they're able to get through LinkedIn has just been growing astronomically. It's just like LinkedIn, since it got acquired by Microsoft, I think has placed a large focus on building up the engagement on the platform. And so when you publish content on LinkedIn, they're pushing it into the algorithm more, and more of your followers are seeing it. And so from my understanding, how it works is like it pushes to 10% of your audience. If they engage positively with it, it pushes it to a larger section, and then it grows and grows and grows. And so that's how you go viral on LinkedIn. But I mean, for me, the focus isn't necessarily going viral, but it's building up my presence within students and young entrepreneurs. So that's kind of my target audience, if you may say. Because
same with us.
Exact, same as you guys. And so it's like, how can I produce content that is relevant to that audience and then connect with people in that audience? So I focus on my kind of core pillars are, I'm either talking about marketing, my own entrepreneurial journey, or just like entrepreneurship in general. So those are kind of 3 core topics that I focus on, and I try to talk about, and then I establish myself building up my brand around entrepreneurship and marketing.
Being that influencer.
Exactly.
So one of the things, like when I was in school a couple years ago, they would really drive that you need to be on LinkedIn if you're in advertising or marketing. I feel like LinkedIn has grown a lot in the last 2 years. Absolutely. So when we heard that, we were thinking, what is LinkedIn? We're not really sure. Do you think that if you're in advertising or marketing, you need a LinkedIn profile?
100%. Like if you're in business, not even just like marketing, it's where, like, so it's a combination of things. Like it's your digital resume, like your profile, that's your digital resume. Like I would rather send people that than my actual resume.
So for the last thing, I kind of just wanted to do a fast bolt. Like I'll say a word and you say whatever word comes to mind. All right?
There we go.
LinkedIn.
Content. That's
Running.
Fun.
Marketing.
Consumer interest. That's 2 words.
2 words? Okay. Toronto.
6. No. Diversity.
The Mad Mix.
Fire.
There we go. Thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure.
It was good. Oh, I like that.
Malik, how'd you like that interview?
Honestly, I thought you did a really good job with that one, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No problem.
You guys want to see more? Subscribe, check out our page, check out themadmix.com, and have a great day.
Yeah, just generally, and don't forget to drink water. It's really important.